Janice, are you there?
At your service, sir.
Give me some of that dating foolishness.
Will do, sir.
Listen, there was a lineup of us. We was passing each other on the stairway in and out.
No, y'all wasn't.
Listen.
No, y'all was not passing
You think this is a game?
You were not passing each other on the stairway. No, y'all wasn't.
We were passing each other on the stairway. Like, this is my shift from this time to this time. So, you know, I was a willing participant in that. And this is, like, I can laugh about it now, but it's really sad.
Avoid women like this at all costs. Derrick Jaxn's ex-wife is not a victim of Derrick Jaxn. Analysis. Welcome to Manager Highlights Daily. Shout out to dear future wifey for this video. Great interview. Before we get into this, we do not condone cheating. Janice, put it on the screen. We do not condone cheating. I don't know where people get the idea that the red pill means it's okay to cheat, or being a deadbeat dad, or beating your wife. Where do people get that idea? Stop the foolishness. Red pill is the truth. What you do with this truth is on you. We recommend using the red pill to protect yourself at all times. This is another video to show you what you need to protect yourself from, because the situation between Derrick Jaxn and his wife or ex-wife, Miss Jaxn, is a great example of the truth of that dating foolishness. So this is not a diss video. I repeat, this is not a diss video. Matter of fact, we want to commend Miss Jaxn for being transparent and taking responsibility for her actions. She shares her story so we can all learn from it. With that said, after this video, you will understand that when you meet a woman like her, you better run! Get to the chopper! We're gonna break this video down in 4 parts. Childhood issues, Derrick Jaxn, Prince Charming, irresponsible behavior, marriage counseling / therapy. The link to the full video is in the description. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
Yeah, so abandonment. With my father, I had teenage parents. My mom was 16 when she had me. My father was 18. They never really had a relationship per se. They were just supposed to be playing video games.
They were playing with other things.
Here you go. Merry Christmas, right? This is all going on while I'm a child. So this is what I grew up with what the capacity that I had. And so that was pretty much the main trauma that I had. I didn't have another trauma until I was 19, where I was and so I still kind of include that in childhood trauma. So
the dysfunction all starts here. Childhood. Similar to Brittany Renner's childhood. Her parents, who were supposed to give their children love, support, guidance, and resources to help them grow up and develop into successful, responsible, and independent adults, were not even adults themselves. Fellas, no matter where you are in the world, if you decide to deal with women, if you are seeking a meaningful relationship, it's essential to consider and understand the woman's upbringing. Miss Jaxn went to college, and if you listen to the full interview, you will understand that college education cannot replace the essential knowledge and guidance expected from parents. College doesn't necessarily make you smart. Remember that education and intelligence are 2 different things. You will see that she makes some of the dumbest decisions even though she is college educated. Now before you draw the grape card, don't get it twisted. Grape is a serious matter, and I will explain later why it doesn't give her a pass. Now let's get into the grape story.
So yeah, so I was 19. I was on summer from college actually, and I was going out to a party that I didn't tell my mom about. I was, doing my own thing, and I went there, and I did have an ex-boyfriend there, and a couple other people, my family, my brothers were there, and their friends and things like that. And so we were all drinking, having a good time. I was downstairs, and one of one of the people there decided that they, seen me and they wanted what they wanted. And so I was grabbed from behind. I was pushed down, and then, there's that story of being, but everybody was upstairs, so they couldn't hear me downstairs, in the basement screaming with over the music and all of that. So
once again, rape is a serious matter. I don't wish that on any woman. It is absolutely terrible and inexcusable. When you listen to her story, it's kind of shady. She said she was drinking and she was alone with the guy in the basement. So I have to ask, how did you get there? Everybody's upstairs and you are all alone in the basement. Not in the living room, not in the attic, not in your friend's bedroom. Nah, you were alone in the basement. I'm just asking, okay? Because it's kind of shady. Now listen to this.
How'd you process that? Did you tell anybody?
I did not process it. And so I did not process it at all. I didn't tell anybody. In fact, then I didn't go home that night. I actually stayed in the house with my abuser, right? Well, not like in the same place, but they were like upstairs, I stayed the night. I didn't tell my mom where I was at. And I actually lied to her and told her, hey, I was at my uncle's house with my aunt and my brothers. And so I never told her. I never got that therapy or counseling. And I didn't get that until I was 30, which at that point was about 12 years after the experience. And when I started unpacking it, I started to realize how much that single event really affected my life, affected my sex life in marriage, affected my mental and emotional state, affected almost every aspect that I didn't even know that it was affecting.
What happened to Miss Jaxn is absolutely horrible. What she says about the impact of that incident is real. Trauma, a deeply distressing or disturbing experience, can leave lasting scars on a person's mind and soul. It can reshape their perceptions, alter their behavior, and impact their decision-making abilities, especially if they don't deal with it. However, it's important to recognize that while trauma may shape an individual, it does not excuse harmful actions or irresponsibility. That brings me to the next part. Prince Charming Derrick Jaxn.
What attracted you to Derrick?
He's very charming. He's very charming. When you see him, he has a charisma and a presence about him that is just like, it sucks you in automatically. And then he's very funny. And so that humor drew me in as well. Of course, he has the looks to go with it. So there's that.
So it's a perfect little balance of everything.
Yeah, it's a perfect balance of it all.
And so
he did play football.
So you got the sexy jock. What was that about?
Fire. Like, for me, that's what I was thinking. Like, listen, Danaia, you have upgraded. You are coming into it, right? And so I think there was a lot of hatred overall.
Yeah.
Most people didn't say a whole lot, but I think there's a lot of hatred about it. And then it's like, it doesn't match because he is more outgoing and personable. And I'm just like, the awkward black girl that went to an all-white high school. So there's a balance.
We talk about Derrick Jaxn, the cheater, Derrick Jaxn, the con man, but he has accomplices. Jackson's negative actions are not solely his own doing. You just heard how she described him. You heard her say she upgraded it. Let's take it a step further.
Had our baby. She was 2 months old. He had her in this little "Will you marry me" bib. It was great. Like, everything was involved, and it was great. I loved it, every aspect of it. And it's like, this is everything I wanted and been asking for and dreaming of my whole life. And just through this relationship, and I won out of all these women.
You about to say another word?
The Lord is bridling my tongue. He is bridling my tongue. I won out of all these women, so here I am, so it almost gave me like this false sense of confidence and accomplishment. Right?
Yeah.
She won, fellas. If she won, this means she's competing. Who is she competing with? The sisterhood. We've explained it many times how the sisterhood impacts the behavior of these women. The sisterhood must approve which guys women can go out with, which guys get action. Derrick Jaxn is that dude. Why is Derrick Jaxn that dude? Check this out.
Extra treatment. It comes with money. You know, I had not experienced any type of level of that. And I'm like, I've been all them Disney movies are paying off. I'm living the life of the rich and famous. Look at him. He's fine and he's doing this and I get to stay at home and like I was a whole Atlanta housewife without being on the show. Right? Whole out here. And so
Derrick Jaxn meets the criteria of Prince Charming. Prince Charming from the Disney fairy tales. These women have a superficial understanding of relationships because they have been raised by TV, Atlanta housewives. So you have bad parenting, Disney princess syndrome, the sisterhood, and the grape incident. As I said before, it's important to recognize that while trauma may shape an individual, it does not excuse harmful actions or irresponsibility. This brings us to the next part. Irresponsible behavior. Check this out.
Anyway, we were still engaging sexually, even though we were off, right? And so it was in this time where there was a lineup of us. We was passing each other on the stairway in and out.
No, y'all wasn't.
No,
y'all was not passing
you think this is a game.
You were not passing each other on the stairway. No, y'all was.
We were passing each other on the stairway. Like, this is my shift from this time to this time. So, you know, I was a willing participant in that. And this is, like, I can laugh about it now, but it's really sad, you know, to, like, what space do you have to be in to accept that? And so I dealt with it already, so I could laugh about it now. And it's funny,
that's what
but it's
look like. Healing,
right?
You look back at your old self and laugh.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, seriously. It was, you know, I'm coming over at this time. I know such and such is going to be rolling through about, you know, an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
And sometimes we went a little bit longer. So literally passing each other on the stairs, like out the door. All right, have fun, you know, your shift, you know.
I've said it many times on this channel. It's women that rat-pilled me. They rat-pilled me because I had access to them. And the inquisitive thinking man that I am asked those women questions, and like always, they were telling themselves. Women are fully aware of what they're doing. Don't get it twisted. They are aware that the guy that they already has a girlfriend or wife, already has children, cheated on his girlfriend many times before. If not, they don't want to find out. Because these women fear rejection like no other. They want to feel good so bad that they will engage in irresponsible actions just to stay in la la land. Women do not think, fellas. They feel their way. We're going to show you the clip from yesterday again so you understand what I'm talking about.
And the other thing is, it always feels like a gender battle. Like, it's always men versus women. And even at home, I cannot talk about this with my own husband. I cannot talk about men's rights with him. I want to kill him in about 30 seconds. And I'm like, I'm on your team. Like, I represent dudes and I hate you. And I'm never extreme enough for him. And he likes to spew facts at me. Like, men are always guilty when the police come. I'm like, what? Who? Have you been arrested? Last time I checked, you've never even been investigated. What do you mean this always happens? He's like, you know it's true. It's a fact. I'm like, oh my God, it's a fact again. And I do know it's true. I actually watch my poor male clients get arrested for ridiculous stuff all day. I can give you 100 case studies that would break your heart. But when he says that, I want to deck him. And why? Why does it have to be that way? Why can't I just calm down and listen and not be in competition? And I can't. I fail, at least at home. I'll try to do better for you, doctor.
Thank you.
She knows her husband is right, and she still wants to deck him. She wants to deck her husband for being right. The foolishness. This is a men's rights attorney. She's a professional, and it doesn't matter because she is a woman first.
And why? Why does it have to be that way? Why can't I just calm down and listen and not be in competition? And I can't. I fail, at least at home.
The need to be right comes from a variety of factors, including emotional attachment to beliefs, cognitive biases, fear of insecurity, and a drive to maintain a consistent worldview, which collectively contribute to the difficulties women experience when confronted with cold, hard facts. This is how I came to the conclusion that a good man can make a woman feel bad because she's not a good woman. A bad boy makes a woman feel better about herself because he takes away the pressure of being a good woman. Derrick Jaxn was telling these women what they wanted to hear. Feel good Kool-Aid, that cool, refreshing drink. Women love that drink, especially when it's served by Prince Charming, because it takes away the pressure of being a good woman. The manosphere was serving these women that bitter lemon red pill juice. The truth, not what they wanted to hear, but what they needed to hear. That made them feel bad, and they came to deck the heck out of us, only to prove us right. This is why women in general make terrible leaders, because facts hurt them. They can't handle the truth. Check this out.
In college, there was a guy, Fabian, who I was
You didn't say
talking
the man's name. You done said the
And so in college, there was that, but it wasn't necessarily a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I actually had used him to I used him to set Derrick up because I was tired of him being with all these girls and catching him and going through his phone and watching him do all of his stuff with these girls. And I was working with this guy, and I was like, listen, I need you to help me to get him back. And I want to set this up. We're going to make it look like we're, this great couple. Like I'm cheating over here and all this. So he helped me. He was, he did. So there's that. And then I would set up times where I would be like, let's meet up at this place. And, I knew Derrick would find out about it. And I wanted him to, because I wanted him to pay.
You want him to be jealous?
I wanted him to. I've sat there and watched, literally looked through his phone and watched him have sex with other girls.
On the phone?
On the phone. I literally watched it. And so that was soul crushing. At that time, this is well before we're married, but I've seen it multiple times, multiple girls, several. This is just in college. We're not talking even about marriage.
After that, we're gonna
Even though Derrick Jaxn has been cheating on her since day one, she struggles to recognize and appreciate the presence of the man, actually the simp, who genuinely wants to support her. This is where we have to hold her accountable. She does not get a pass for this behavior, and it only gets worse from here.
So I was just on the rotation at the time, and I ended up getting pregnant with our first child. And it was in that I was like, okay, Danaia, you got to figure out what you're doing with your life. You are whole pregnant, and you can't get rid of this child, because I had already had 3 abortions before, and the Lord had already dealt with me. And I was like, Lord, if you save me from this, I'm not going to ever do this again. Got pregnant. I was like, I can't go back on my word, Lord. I don't want you to kill me.
Yeah.
She already had 3 pregnancies terminated. Do you still see her as a victim? Do you feel sorry for her? Don't get it twisted. Derrick Jaxn doesn't get a pass, brothers. But this woman is responsible for being a willing participant in all that foolishness that's going on between her and Derrick Jaxn. And to give her credit, she admits it, brothers. Now, after all that crap that's going on, we finally get some therapy. Check this out.
There was,
You said premarital counseling?
Premarital counseling.
Wait, y'all didn't finish our premarital counseling?
No.
Why not?
There was a lot of issues that arose. So as we were doing the counseling, I started to come out with a lot of the hurt that I was hiding from college days. I started to come out with that and how it made me feel. And it was a lot, I think, for him to handle all of that.
He was like, oh my God, how you know all this stuff?
Right.
He's like,
How do you know? Right. How did you know? But then also why are you just now telling me
anyway,
about
you
this?
still here?
Right.
All that, you still
right. And so it was a lot for me to just be like, and you did this and you did that. And I feel like I did do a lot of shame and blaming in communicating all the things I had been holding on to. So it was a lot for him to handle in that time. But anyway, it was all of that. He was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So we never finished. And then, and then here we go in the marriage. So
This is really interesting because they decided to do marriage counseling before they got married, and Derrick Jaxn quits. Now this is exactly why we highlight this video, because at this stage you are already too late. You cannot fix these broken women. Once again, Derrick Jaxn doesn't get a pass, but he tried to do the right thing by marrying his baby mama, and it was never gonna work because it never worked in the first place. If this woman had her head on her shoulders, she would never deal with a man like Derrick Jaxn, a man that disrespects her all the time. You take it to marriage counseling and all the skeletons come out, and you still marry her. Marriage is not a solution. It's not a medicine, nor a quick fix button to make problems disappear. That's why seeking therapy is a positive step, but it requires time and guidance of a skilled therapist. Check this out.
a couple weeks before we got married, and I didn't even think we were going to get married because it was such a big blow up. And so he got his hair cut by a girl that he used to have sex with, and she posted a picture on Instagram with hearts. He was standing behind her, and there's hearts surrounding them, and I lost it on him. I lost it. I did not use any kind of biblical words at all. And and so it was at that point where I blew up, where I was like, okay, I need to get help. I got to figure out myself. And I actually got therapy. I got 3 therapists.
You got 3? Why you need 3?
I needed all 3. All 3 of them. I got
one of them miss something, the other one pick it up,
exactly.
and that miss something.
Yes. And I did that for about 3 months until I settled on one. And then I was with her for about 1.5 years. Yes.
So you said this was a couple of weeks before y'all said I do?
Yes.
Fellas, it's important to grasp the gravity of this woman's condition. It's not something to be taken lightly. I don't know what these therapists did for her, but unfortunately things didn't improve. Trauma can have a profound impact on a person's mental well-being and choices. It's crucial to recognize their pain and offer support, but we must also hold them responsible for their actions. It's not our responsibility to save or fix these women. That's why I want you to recognize this behavior and protect yourself at all times.
What did I get myself into, right? And now I'm practicing toxicity, right? I'm practicing toxic behavior and cycles with holding things in, not talking about it, and then either being passive aggressive or just super aggressive, but nothing in between. And then he has no idea what's going on because he doesn't know what I'm freaking out about.
And what you done seen, what you...
Right.
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.